Hello everyone, welcome to our studio. So glad you dropped by. I hope you've been painting with us all along. Today we're going to start with a blank canvas. This will be maybe it'll help somebody that's just starting painting. I'm going to try to explain exactly what I do and how I start a painting. It's not the only way to do it, but it's the way that I usually do it on landscapes. Come over to the canvas and I'll show you what we've done. We've coated it with boiled linseed oil all over. The only reason we do that is to make our color move around, that we can put color on and it moves real easily. So we'll start with the sky, and normally I do a real pale looking sky. I'm not sure what color we'll do today. Let's start out with a little blue. I'm going to just dip my brush into this light blue. And I'm going to just smear a little bit on there. And I'm going up and down strokes and sideways strokes, just sort of blend it out a little bit. Now I'm going to go right beside of that and make it a little darker. And the reason I'm doing that is I want your eyes to come into the canvas, so I'm trying to focus all my colors to where first thing you see is right in here. I don't know what it will be yet, but we'll put something in there. Now I'm going to pull a little of that color out here. Now I'm going to put a little bit of the alizarin crimson in it. Like so. I think that's about right. Yeah, that's close enough. Wipe that little knife off. I'm going to dip into that color. Same thing over here. I want to put little contrasting colors. And I want to blend that into the light color in the middle. I'm going to put a little bit more over here and blend it in a little bit. Now that linseed oil, it's boiled linseed oil, by the way. I don't know if you can see it, but it's sort of helping me blend those colors together. Now that's a real pale blue sky, and I've noticed lately outside we're having some beautiful light blue skies. And I'm going to get a clean brush now. I want to blend that just a little bit more. And I may want to come in the middle. I put a little bit of, just a touch darker right there. Now let me clean that brush out. Now what I have here is just regular thinner. And I have a mesh in the bottom so the sludge and dirt will go down, and I'll have clean thinner on top. Now that's a real clean little brush. Now I can use it again if I need to. Now I'm going to take a clean brush, one that we haven't used, and just more or less blend this in a little bit better. I'm just taking the end of the brush all the way across, going up and down. Now I've got a pretty blue sky all the way across. And it's a little bit different colors. You don't notice it quite as much because it's all blended together. Now I'm going to go ahead and just clean that brush a little bit. Wipe it out on my paper towels. And drop it right there. Now, what I want to do is add a few little clouds, just a few maybe. And as I tell you, I've tried to keep some of the white perfectly clean, and some of it I'm going to intermix with all the other colors there. Now, I'm going to start right up in here. Pick up a little more color. A little more color. I'll probably just go all the way across with that. Some of this possibly will be covered up, but it doesn't matter. Now I want to go all the way here to now you can blend the bottoms out if you want to, or you can shadow the bottoms of them. And I'm just taking the brush and dipping it in the straight white and just jabbing it into the canvas and blending the bottom right into the sky color. And I'm going to put one little cloud right up here. Dipping it straight into the white. Okay, I sort of like that. I probably will not shadow the bottoms of those because I like that white color. But you can come in and shadow them just a little bit if you want to. Matter of fact, let me do just a little bit over here. Now that could be a rain cloud coming in, I don't know. Hopefully not today. Now I've sort of shattered that, as you can tell. I hope you can see that on TV. I'm going to make it a little darker so you can see it, okay? A little more alizarin crimson. Just a touch of the cobalt blue. Now that's going to make it stand out a lot more, but I hope it don't look like a rain cloud. I just dip the end of my brush in that. And you see that makes a little shadow on that one cloud. I'm going to clean that brush out real good. Grab my blending brush again. Just the tip of the brush. Well, that's making a few streaks that I didn't like, but now I've got them, most of them out of there. Okay. Now, I like to paint mountains, so let's do some mountains in here. I'm not exactly sure how to put them in there. Let's mix up a little color. Now, I already started some color here. That's a whole lot of alizarin crimson, probably too much. So, but I'm going right back on the other side of that, and I'm going to add some blue to that. I'm going to add a touch of green to it also. And I wanted a little bit browner color. I think that's about what we want. That's really dark. So I'm going to lighten it just a touch. Now, you can do mountains a lot of different ways. I'm going to take my palette knife, pull that color out, and I'm going to just go through there and get a little roll on the knife. And I'm going to make the mountains just a little bit offset, maybe the highest part right here. A little more of that color. A little more. A little more. I want to pull a little more of that color down. Yeah. All right. Now we've already got some mountains started there. I'm going to mix a little of this blue. I took a little of the light blue, alizarin crimson, and a little bit of the dark. I believe I needed it just a touch lighter than that. Maybe about like that. Let's try that. That's about it. I'm going to go a little lighter yet. Now this is the shadow side of the mountain, by the way. Now what I may do, I don't know where to make snow caps here, or I'm going to grab a little white. Intermix it with that. A little more. A little more. Now I'm going to pull up that color this way. A little more of that. Okay, I'm going to wipe it off. I'm going to get a little of the white, just a little bit. And I'm just going real lightly with that color. Need a little right in there. I need a little bit more right in there. Let me grab a little of that. All right. and don't want to pick that color off of my knife. There you go. Now, that's sort of the way you can make some mountains. You don't have to do them exactly that way, but and you can just make blue mountains back in here, which looks really good. Now I'm going to take my brush maybe do it with this one. I'm just going to blend the bottoms of them. Okay, now that we got our mountains in there, we're going to put some tree lines back in here. So we got our sky, we got our mountains. Now we're going to come forward. And there won't be a lot of detail in this. Now there'll be, and we need a good color to come in here with. I want a bluish green color. This mountain color looks like it might just be what we need. I want a dark color there. Not sure how much green that is till we get it on the canvas. We'll try a little of that and just see what it does. Now in order to do that, we're going to grab a fan brush. Got a bunch of them here. I'm going to lay that one down. This one probably will do the trick for us. It's got a lot of oil in it, which is the way I store my brushes. So I'm going to clean it out a little bit. Now this is a tree line way back in the background. There won't be a lot of detail on this. And what I'm doing on my fan brush, I'm just getting the color right on the ends. Then I'll go in here sideways, and you can start in where you want to. I'll bring them right along into here anyhow. I might want to go a little bit darker than that. In order to do that, there's two things I'm going to do. I'm going to take a little brown. This is sort of a Van Dyke brown. This is a Payne's gray. And that'll be good color for all of our background if we need to come forward with it. I think that's about what I want. Let me try that and see. It's virtually no change. So I'm going to take a little more Payne's gray. Okay. Of course, I've got a lot of that color in my brush. That might be the reason. Now that's darker. And I'm sort of making this go down a little bit. Now I'm just go back, take this tip side of the brush, and you don't have to do all them little poles unless you just want to. You can actually just go in here and start doing this. I want it real dark at the bottom. And I'm trying to leave a little light coming through the trees, which makes it a little more realistic. I might go all the way up here with these trees. That way, when I put the foreground trees in, there'll be something in the background, right, that you can see. You know what? I might make a river coming out of there. So I believe I'll stop with the trees right here, and I'm going to go on this side now and add a few. And let's start up in here. Let's go back this way with them. Let's start right here. That way, we'll have the room for the river to come through here. We'll do a couple more trees. I'm glad you joined us this week, and I hope that you're painting with us. And we want to start a free art class. But I don't know if we'll get to do it this year or not. Our little building was getting it ready, but God has blessed us with a lot of stuff for the kids. And we got stuff left over from last year we have to go through. So the building is pretty full, to be honest with you. So we may have to wait till after we do the kids this year. Okay, I guess we're going to have to leave you. I hate to go. I always enjoy being with you so much. And I hope you enjoy our show. Anyhow, come back next week and we'll do a little more work on our painting and try to explain what we're doing. Thank you for joining us, and goodbye and God bless.